In today's video, I'm going over the concept of chain trapping. So continual attacks coming down the center, whilst also covering the lines of attack and controlling the other person's limb with one arm covering two arms. So we go through all the different principles here and a few build-ups to this technique. Hope you enjoy. Let's have a look at, I want to have a look at chain trapping. So chain trapping essentially is keeping control of your opponent's limbs, so continuously trapping while striking, right? So one of the most common chain traps is the Fuchs-Sau trap, because you can use it in quick succession. Meaning, let's say I've come into contact with Ward, right? I've thrown a punch towards Ward, now there's some type of contact, right? From here, we're going to use the Fuchs-Sau trap to trap and strike simultaneously. Ward, your partner from the guard is just going to give you an expansion forward. So they're just going to give you some forward movement. So once I've trapped here, he's going to still give some forward pressure. He's not just going to go sloppy salmon and just stay flaccid, right? He's going to keep coming towards you, which forces you then to trap again, yeah? And then from here, he's still coming forward, I trap again, yeah? So I'm going to continue with the chain trap. Chain trap. So, so what does that look like from a practical standpoint? You come in to make contact with a strike. For the purpose of this exercise, you're not hitting right through, because ultimately we know we want to always strike right through. For the purpose of the exercise, we're just going to go to contact. From here, I change to a Fuchs-Sau type shape. So essentially, I go from vertical fist to turning slightly down with an open palm, so that I can catch both of his hands with this motion, yeah? This circle catching forward towards him, so I'm trapping at him. As this traps here, that opens up this line for this hand to strike. Then from here, he keeps a forward pressure because he wants to attack my center, and then from here, I'm going to trap again, yeah? So it's the same exact motion. I've hit through with this hand, then the striking hand switches to trap, and then we switch again. So then this hand that punched turns from the punch to the facing down palm to trap again. Water comes up and towards me again, I'm going to trap again. So you're just going to keep practicing the chain trap. Yeah? Now, some might say, oh, what's the point of practicing this technique, because they can go around the outside, right? So let's say I'm trapping Ward here and I'm hitting, and then he decides to go around the outside to maybe hook. I've got the inside game. So yeah, if he does decide to go outside, you've got to remember, you're also hitting them down the center. And you're not just tapping them, you'd be putting pressure in, and you'd be hitting the throat or the chin, right? So you're not going to be tapping them. So there's that factor as well. And once again, this is a drill. It's a technique to practice a skill. So once again, you're going to either step, or if you're in close, you just punch straight through. You're stopping, giving yourself some space to use the trap. Once again, keep in mind, ultimately, we always just hit through, right? You always just hit through, but this is an exercise. I punch through, I want to capture both hands, so I trap. Bringing the elbow and wrist down and forward towards him. As that opens up, I hit with the other hand. Then the other hand becomes a trap, and then you switch, yeah? And you're just aiming to control and hit. Your partner's just going to give you a subtle forwardness with their hands down the center so you can practice, and then we'll evolve on this. Any questions? 1, 2. Let's have a crack. Now, of course, in self-defense, you're practicing it as a drill. So you're doing it. I'm doing it multiple times. I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4. But it may not be as you may not be as lucky as that to be able to just continually chain trap them, right? But remember, once again, in self-defense, you're also going to be striking with full force to a vulnerable target. So keep that in mind. Now, the general reaction, if a person's any good, is that they'll probably come around the outside in some way, shape, or form. So if I'm coming through with the punch and then I go, the hands are in a position which allows me to chain trap. Because remember, if their hand's out here, you could trap one hand and hit, but you don't have the principle of 2-on-1 in trapping, which we always go for, which is, okay, I want 2 for the price of 1. So let's just say they do have their hands close to the center, for whatever reason. I go to punch through, and then I trap. Now, Ward, obviously, it's difficult for Ward to come straight back down through the center, because I've got both of my limbs here. So it's going to be hard for him to come through through this line, right? So that means if he's any good, the force will tend to come from the outside. It'll come around the force, right? So if Ward goes to chain trap with me, he comes through to punch, and then he goes to trap, this line's blocked off. So if I keep going forward to him, then the elbows are probably going to come out. If I keep going forward towards him, that's the part of my body he's not controlling, right? Makes sense? So it'd be natural if Ward's going to trap me and my hand's trapped for my elbows to come up as a defensive measure. So what do we do? So I've come through and I've punched and I've gone for a chain trap, and now what your partner's going to do is they're going to react by coming forward with the elbows. Yeah? So he's going to come forward with either side of his elbows. Now what you want to do is maintain the connection with the Fuchs Hau trap and the pressure on the center. And that's going to give you the first layer of defense. So if Ward tries to come through with an elbow, he'll find he's already off balance to a degree that it makes it difficult. Right? So you want to make sure you've always got that. Yeah? So once again, I've come through, I've punched, I've chain trapped. He's trying to hit through, but he can't because there's pressure here, so his elbows come. I want to keep maintaining my center to his center and pressure on him to off balance him to make it difficult for him to elbow me in the face, firstly. And what you want to do is you want to bring your hands towards his as well. So you kind of mirror what they're doing. So this is just a principle I'd like you to apply. Now I can't give you a precise idea. I can't say your elbow will be 45 degrees up to the right or left, because it really depends on how your opponent is going to send the elbows at you. Because as Ward comes and does it to me, he punches, does the chain trap, the chain trap, yeah, he elbows me in the head and breaks my face, yeah, and then I come forward, my right elbow's coming up, yeah, or it could be my left elbow coming underneath, yeah. So the elbows are the release valve, but it depends on the way the pressure's coming as to what part of the elbows actually are released. Does that make sense? So I can't give you a cut and paste answer, but I can give you a principle, which is to mirror. I want you to mirror and shadow them, yeah? So as I go through to strike, I get my trap, Ward comes through to attack me with an elbow, I keep my pressure in his center, but I mirror him. So it's almost as though I'm doing the same thing as him, yeah? So as he comes through to elbow, I keep my pressure in his center, he comes through to elbow, yeah, and that'll allow me then to continue with the chain trap. So it's like I always have chain punching in my mind, right? That's the kind of Wing Chun concept. The concept is I'm always just going to attack, right? With whatever limb can strike the target. The chain trapping concept is a part of that. It's a part of chain punching. Because once you've made contact, you want to not give up the contact. Because why? Because in our system, it's about shutting down their strength. Because remember, this was designed by an elderly nun, right? Fighting bigger, stronger, more athletic people, so she had to shut them down, right? So, once again, the way we're going to practice this, I punch through, I get the person's in a good position for me to chain trap. Start off slowly so you can get the rhythm for it. They react by coming forward in the way they best can, which is from the outside of the direct attack. I mirror by coming, it's like my elbow mirrors to his as I come forward, which then allows me to continue with my attacks, which ends up being, again, into the chain trapping sequence. So you'll find your chain trap will then evolve from, essentially this, into whatever's there. So I've come through here, he comes with the elbow, I mirror, come at him, and now you can see the chain trap here, ready? Trap, hit, trap, hit. So this isn't exactly what I was doing, but I'm still chain trapping, covering and hitting. Get the idea? So the principles to keep in mind. Keep your attack on their center as always. Mirror their movement. I come through, I hit, I trap, I keep my attack on his center so that takes the power out of the elbow. But then I mirror the elbow to come at him to allow me to go back into chain trapping. So the principles are keep the connection and the attack on the center. Mirror their movements. So you follow them, which you develop from Chi Sao. Yeah, and then continue with the chain trapping concept. So one last time, from another angle. Maybe we'll get this idea. I go through to punch, I use my chain trap. Ward keeps coming forward around the outside. I keep my pressure on his center to take any power out of that strike, and I mirror. As I mirror, I can then from here continue. See, this is also a chain trap. Trap, the elbow now. Trap, strike, trap, elbow. So it's still a chain trapping concept. Does that make sense? So simply put, start with the chain trap, keep your focus on the center as they come with an elbow. Mirror. So focus on the center, mirror, chain trap. Make sense? 1, 2, let's go.